Good afternoon, everyone. We are going to have a live about our self-care series with these shades of Jade. I am just going to wait for her to pop on while I get set up. Hi, and we will be ready to go. I'm so excited about this today, guys. We're just gonna wait a few minutes as we watch people pop in. Hi, Miss Jade. Let's see. I pushed the request, but I don't think There we go. Yay! I was like, I'm pushing it, but it's not working.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So excited to chat today.
Me too. Are you having a good week so far?
I am. Yeah, really creative week. But we'll dive into that during.
Cannot wait to hear it.
How's
So, my week's going really good. I started some new work, and so I'm always excited about that, right? Like that's the inner generator in me.
I was gonna say generator energy. Yeah.
So we have the lovely pleasure of being able to talk with Jade today on our self-care series. And so I want to talk a little bit about this fierce woman right here. Jade is an internal student with a spiritual affinity with over a decade's worth of knowledge, studying and interpreting the cosmic language through tools like astrology and human design. Oh, wait, it says I lost you. Oh, no. It froze. We might have to start it again. Oh, no.
And we're in.
You know what? We're about to drop some real fire.
It's over. So
I don't see you though.
no.
I don't, but maybe someone else does. I want to make sure. Let me just check on this other phone and make sure that I can see you, because I don't want anyone to miss the fire that I know you got coming.
I can hop back in. I can exit and come back in if you don't see me. Just let me know.
Nope, I see you. I see you here, so we're good. Okay, start over. We'll just cut. This part. That way we can see. I can't see you like on my screen, but it shows on the other one so everyone else can see. Anyways, cool. I am going to introduce the most amazingly fierce Miss Jade from these shades of Jade. Jade is an internal student with a spiritual affinity of over a decade's worth of knowledge of study and interpreting the cosmic language through tools like astrology and human design, which I can't wait to get into it. Born highly intuitive and raised in New York City with a deep love for the visual arts, she has always been receptive to the supernatural world of seeing what's possible beyond the human eye and the five senses. Growing up, she discovered the art of manifestation through the power of belief, and she took the necessary leaps of faith that helped to serve her purpose of growth and alignment by trusting in her intuition. Her heart is in healing. Her heart is in the healing arts, which I already know and have already been blessed to receive, to be in spiritual service, using her gifts of intuition to help others, finding their own guiding light within to help them discover their illuminated path towards passion and fulfillment.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's so good. So I just gotta say, like, I know once everyone experiences this, like, I have had the immense pleasure to be able to be in your orbit and to be able to sit and spend time with you. And you are so deeply talented and intuitive, and like that intro doesn't even drop a drop into the real gifts that you have when you're able to experience it. So I want to talk about self-care and your self-care routine and how that kind of helped you get to where you are in your human design. But before we do that, I just want to say, y'all know I've been doing the self-care thing. I make this boxes. I took a break. My birthday was September. We call it Chemica. And I took a break, and Miss Jade was part of that break that I took. I needed to take a little siesta because there was a lot going on in my life. And so she helped me with her intuitive gifts and human design and learn a little bit about myself while taking some time out. And so that was my self-care routine. And since you helped me so much, I just wanted to know what your self-care routine looks like.
Thank you. Oh man, that is like a loaded question because
Right?
first off, I think we're all born intuitive. The thing is that we aren't able to hear ourselves, right? When we're in our mind and when we're not in alignment, we tend to block that intuition. And so for me, self-care starts with like the moment I wake up, it starts with intention setting. Setting intentions, prayer, meditation, and even visualization. I'll catch myself sometimes like picking my phone up, wanting to check my email or like, scroll on Instagram, but I have to stop myself because that is the first thing that I have to get done during the day is what are my intentions for today? What do I see myself doing? How do I want to feel, right? Like I want to feel, supported, loved, whatever it is. And I call that out. And so for me, self-care is really being really intentional about what it is that you're trying to create, right?
Yep.
I power of words too. So like in the morning, you'll catch me speaking it out loud. And at first it was really uncomfortable, but I'll do it. I'll say my intentions out loud just to call it in.
That's good.
Big for me is ambiance. So like I need to get the environment right before I can even do whatever task or responsibilities I have. And to shout you out, Kimmy, I've got my candle right here from your subscription.
Look at that. Yay.
And all done because I have to light my candles. I have to get my incense burning. You know what I mean? Like I have to music in the background that's like really an alignment to my mood. I have to set the tone for my day. So self-care is big for me, huge. And I think it's just about the intention of giving our body what we need. And I know we're going to be talking about listening to our body more, but that's our GPS, right? It's our navigation.
Right.
So yeah, it really just tuning into myself, my body, and just listening to what it is that it's needing in that moment. So
Really important that you said your ambiance because, I'm a visual person. Like I'm always constantly watching, even when I'm watching like reels or people's stories, I'm watching them, but also watching everything in the background. And there was, I think you were in a red dress or maybe a red t-shirt, or it was like a spaghetti scrap shirt, and you were sitting on the porch. I'm assuming it's a porch, but you were outside, and I caught the fence, and the fence, I was like, oh, that fence is fire. It was like it reminded me of the trees in Virginia because they're so tall and so skinny. And I was like, oh, she made a fence out of trees. Like, I was just like, oh, like,
yeah,
I just thought that was super dope. And so my brain kind of like totally went down a little creative path.
That's details,
That's
right?
how my brain works. But yeah, it was really good. I thought that was interesting when you said like the ambiance, because I got that even from your videos, right? Like you pay attention to all of those little things.
Yeah. So good. And it's so funny because you're talking about that video, talk about self-care. That was my birthday weekend, right? I had gone on a trip to Wimberley. And so I booked an Airbnb, and the attention to detail in that place was just so inspirational. That back to my home, and I need, and it's really the environment. But yeah, talk about self-care. It's also giving yourself that siesta time, right? To unplug and be with yourself. So yeah. What about you? Let me ask you, what's your self?
You're gonna turn it. What do I do for self-care? So right now, two things, right? So one thing that I do is my bed is my heaven. And when I say my heaven, like I should really have a floating throne around it, right? So when I get a chance to really downshift, because, you know, we'll get into the whole human design thing, but I'm a generator. And so I go all the time. So when I take a break, like it's to be in my bed, I'm vegging out on TV. It's not always the positive TV because I'm a crime show person and I know that's not everybody's jam, but, yeah, I'm watching this show right now called New Girl, and it's making me laugh. So I'm just like that comic relief. But my bed, and then also personal development. Like I'm really into learning more about myself and understanding that who I am and the way I think and all of that is okay. Like I'm okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to beat to your own drum. And so human design and co-star and just learning all about that stuff is really I feel like it's so crazy, but like that is my self-care right now, to be 39 and to feel like I finally accept who I am and know what my purpose is to be and do and to create. Like, oh my gosh, like I literally am doing something that I love to do. Like I love making boxes and making products. Like, so that is my self-care. It's, you know, if I'm not vegging, then I'm moving. If I'm moving, that's what I'm doing.
And creation is like, I mean, to be able to express yourself through what you create, like that's the magic right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. There's just something about that, like having the idea in your brain and then watching it come to fruition. Like, and then like it's multi levels, right? Because then you create it, then you bring it to life, and then you get to watch other people. Like when you just showed the candle, like first of all we need to get you a new candle because that one's empty. Right? Like it's like seeing other people's excitement. So it's just a gift that keeps on giving. So that is really, that's how I take care of myself. I dance a lot too with my kids. But yeah, like I have some serious dance parties on my little carpet in here. So.
Yeah, I love hearing. I was dancing right before this live to get me in the energy and the flow.
Yeah. Oh, what song were you listening to?
Yeah, I had a mixtape going of all these different genre music, so I was just going with it. But
nice.
Music is everything too. It sets the tone and just moves. I mean, yeah, that's where the creative inspiration really comes from.
Yeah. So is there a self-care routine that impacts your day or your week that you have to do that is like a non-negotiable that you do not change?
Yes. First thing in the morning. And I mean, I feel like that's the biggest takeaway I want people to just really like tune into. And if it resonates, great. But like first thing in the morning is intentions, right? Like prayer, meditation, visualization, speaking out your affirmation, whatever it is that works for you, but really setting your day, not so much in your mind of the responsibilities and the to-do list, but more from your heart. Like, what do I want to feel today? If there's one thing that I want to create today, what is it? You know what I mean? And like really being intentional about that. And I do that, I have to do that every day, morning and then before bed. But I would say like the morning time, like your day hasn't even started yet. So you want to create your day. And you write your script, you know what I mean? So
yes, you do.
Yes. And that's the biggest thing I'd say is a non-negotiable. Like every morning I have to have that routine going of the intention setting. And at least once a week, I need to step out into nature.
Okay.
You have the symbiotic connection. And I feel like most of my creative inspiration comes from just kind of being in that stillness. And I'll just like, whether it's a park or a trail or whatever it is, like just sitting in that quiet time, even if it's for 10 minutes and just taking in the environment of that peacefulness, right? Of being in nature. That's where most of my creative inspiration comes from.
Oh, fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting you say about nature. My room like faces some of the, I have 3 windows, and so I'm literally looking at one of them right now. But the trees, I picked this house, and I bought this house specifically because the trees in the backyard, and because I can sit here and it's in the city, but when I look out my windows, it makes me feel like I'm in the country, and the way that the light shines between the trees gives off this prism as they hit the window. And I literally can get lost in that view for days. So it's interesting that you said that nature. Do you feel like you get recharged from it or relaxed? What is the sensation or the emotion or feelings that you get from nature?
It feels like home. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the scenic route. I always love taking the scenic route, but like for me, it's like, especially for us that tend to like intuitive or highly sensitive people that tend to empaths, if you want to term it that. But a lot of times we're constantly like in each other's auras or picking up the energy of the environment, and just being in that quiet nature, like it's so relaxing and peaceful for me. And I just feel like I kind of like unwind and unplug. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Charge for sure. So, yeah, a lot of my recharging happens in Mother Nature for
I
sure.
just see you like walking around in this amazing white hobo dress with like your hair just flowing and walking barefoot and like
Uh,
just like, the waves of grass, just kind of touching it with your hand. That's what I saw
oh,
when you said nature. And
mm,
so I'm a visual person. And so you took me all the way there and I painted a whole picture of you. So that's funny. Self-care is vital, right, for our emotional and mental well-being. Why is it important to you?
my past life and this life, like, years ago, working in a very demanding environment that was always wanting my time, energy, and attention, I didn't know how to put my priorities first. I was always,
Tell it.
yeah,
Tell it.
always what get done and like, and resting later or like just trying to multitask. And I had to learn self-care through my health deteriorating from stress.
Mm.
Sometimes we have to hit rock bottom a little bit to learn the lesson. So for me, it was like a matter of like, what do you need? You need to put your needs first. You know what I mean? You need to take care of you. All of this won't matter if this isn't in alignment and balanced, right?
Yep. Yep.
So learning how to just learning how to heal with myself and learning to be more attentive to my needs and through the routines that I talked about, like really helped me a lot and helped me to step back and see the bigger picture. It's also helped me to balance my time and my energy. So that way I'm not like burning myself out. I don't have the generator energy like you. And so,
It's a lot.
you know what I mean? But yeah, I need my rest. I need to be able to unwind and be able to balance that time. So, yeah,
So reminds me, what is your human design? Are you a projector?
I'm a manifester.
You're a manifester.
Yeah,
Interesting. When you
yeah.
said time, my brain immediately went to projector, but I mean that does land because you're always coming up with, you are really good at manifesting, and we should probably totally bring you back and just talk about manifestation. Like we could do a whole thing on that, like yeah,
Mhm.
we can start that rabbit hole right now, but we're gonna have to get into it.
Step is a self-care, right? Like you
Right.
can manifest things you don't want to manifest if you're not in the right mindset. And if you're in a bad mood or whatever it is, you can manifest that too. So it's a matter of alignment and balance, and checking in with yourself is the biggest thing. Checking in with your body. But what about you? What would you say is vital for you?
Ooh, that's good. No one's ever asked me that. I think that if I'm being 100% authentic, I don't think I've figured out yet what's the thing that I need to do every
Mhm,
day. I
mhm.
think the only thing that I can say is that I really just check in with myself
Yeah.
because I am really, up until now, up until now, I have been really bad about not taking the time for myself. Like
Mm,
they say, those that like can't do teach, which is why I got this business. Like I get to learn this lesson too.
mhm.
And so I am being more intentional with checking in with myself every day, sometimes every minute, to
Yeah.
be completely honest, to be like, how are you feeling? What do you need? And that's I think my non-negotiable right now is making sure that it is I'm okay with how I'm feeling, where things are going, and what I need and how I need to show up in that time. And that's kind of my thing right now. I'm sure it'll eventually be something else, but right now it's like checking in with myself, scanning my body, seeing what I need. Am I okay? How are my feelings? And then moving forward from there. And if it's not, um, if it's like I need to be still, then giving myself the permission to be still because I'm a generator, right? Like I always feel like I need to be doing something, and like the stillness is okay, and
Yeah.
being okay with that, I
Yeah.
think is my non-negotiable in this time. Check-ins, personal check-ins.
Having that awareness, right? Because that's the first step. Like we're always on autopilot. A lot of the time we're on autopilot. We don't even know if we need to check in. So the
Yeah.
fact that we realize, hey, we need to check in here and check in multiple times if that's what it takes. That's really how we listen to the body, you know?
Yeah. So, do you ever change your self-care routine? And if so, why?
Yes, I would say I'm predominantly right-brained, like intuitive, creative. And so like I don't love structure. And I think that's part of the manifestor energy. I don't love like this monotonous routine of structure. Although like I was saying, every morning I have to wake up and set my intentions. Like that needs to happen routinely. But as far as the day goes, like I will plan and visualize what I'd like to see throughout my day, but also realize being flexible and co-creating with how it kind of evolves, right? Because
Mm.
sometimes our day doesn't go as planned. And so I like to be more flexible, more fluid, and kind of work with it. I might feel like, you know, tomorrow I want to get all these things done, but I wake up in the morning and I'm really being called to that nature. I'm going to go listen to that because there's a reason why my body is giving me that urge. There's a reason why. We might not know that reason until we go and we see, oh, I needed to have this interaction. And that interaction just created an opportunity. You know what I mean?
Oh, so good. So
Yeah.
good. That interaction just created an opportunity. Like
Mhm.
somebody put that on a shirt. That was fire.
Yeah, because I think that if we block our routines, like, or if we block ourselves from having to get things done in a fixed way, we don't leave room for the opportunities to come in that we might not even anticipate happening. So I change it up as I feel called, as my intuition
Mm.
speaks. Listen.
And sometimes those opportunities that you just by happens chance lead you to some amazing experiences, right? Like, we had talked before, we have a mutual friend, Cody and Renee. And so I already knew that I wanted to take a deeper dive into human design. And I just happened to be at their house at this particular weekend, and you just happened to be
I
coming
know.
over. And it just happened to be on the full moon. Like, and that experience was one of the most life-changing moments for me at such a pivotal time, which I will eventually dive into why later. But the human, like, which then led me to a human design party with my amazing friends for my birthday, and so we're gonna have to talk about that. But like, it had I not just been okay with like one not being okay, right, and going into the moment of like, this is what I'm doing right now, and I have no, like, I literally took myself off schedule. For anybody who knows me, I am like such a type A personality, and I have like always a 5-year running plan. So for me to be like, I'm not going to do anything for a week but
Mm.
hang out with my friends, not work, which is why y'all probably didn't see much content. But also thank you for my lovely VAs, I love y'all. And just take a break, and I had the most amazing experience. I want to kind of take a side trip and talk about our human design unexpected party, and like the reason why, like, the full moon, because I know we're about to come up on another full moon, right? What people should be doing during that full moon, and just intuitively what you think people might need to know and learn, that can help them in all of these ebbs and flows of time.
Yeah, first, I love that human design party. And I will say that I even had a question come in the stories about how do we work together in with
Mhm.
design, and kind of our party was like that, right? Learning how
Yeah.
different, like the different types just came together, and the different channels in human design, and how you get strength, right? The areas of improvement, but how it all connects. And then I'm going to weave in the full moon, because with this full moon, it's in the sign of Aries. So it's a fire sign. And so stepping into your power, stepping into your leadership, right? Letting go of the things that are no longer serving us. And that's what full moons are about. They're about release. And even like the last one that we had together, right? That was like a big release where we were coming together, and just how it just all came in was just amazing. The conversation that we had was so fulfilling.
Fire.
This full week, it's really that fire energy, which when I think of fire, I think of creativity, I think of passion. And in the sign of Aries, which is about stepping into your power, being confident, being bold in who you are, and letting go of the things that kind of make you feel small or put you in a box or limit you or suppress you from being your full self. So I would say candles like Kimmy's in her subscription box, right? Lighting candles, maybe even writing something down and burning it in the candle of like something that you want to release, a habit or a person or a situation, whatever it is. And even with like, I don't know if you are into crystals, but yeah, my crystals there. And I'm like, it's calling my attention to say this, but like, even if you have crystals, right? Like the red crystals, which are like that fire energy, like working with that and setting intentions, of what can I let go of? And I think we did this in the last full moon. What are we releasing to call in, right? So what is going to replace this space that I am now creating? And so that's a good practice, a practice exercise for this week's full moon in Aries, I'd say.
Yeah, and that kind of leads me to the question of, is there a ritual that is non-negotiable that you have to do? And for me now, because of that experience, it's a full moon ceremony. And which is so crazy, because I don't want to say that was not crazy. It was just like, it was something different that I had never done. And because I was open to that experience, I know that I will be intentional around every full moon, because I was like, okay, I'm just going to go with the flow. And amazing things happened, to the point that I was releasing, back to where you were talking about the burning of the paper, and we wrote down things that we wanted to release for that full moon, for me, it was all my life. And then I wrote down on a separate piece of paper. And what happened is, when me and Jade and Cody and Renee were all around, is when I went to burn my release paper, it's almost like it leaped out of my hands and landed in the bowl of water. And I was like, oh, hell no, this paper is going to burn. I was just like, what happened? So I had to dry my paper first and then burn it. And it took probably 10, 15 minutes. But it did. I burned every single piece of that piece of paper, and I felt really, really good. And for me, my negotiable rituals are full moon, and also releasing that guttural scream that I have. Like, I felt really good just screaming and like letting it out. So what are your rituals that you maintain?
That is so good. I love the screaming. Like, even when we're talking about dancing, right? So sometimes if I feel like I have a lot of energy that needs to move, stomping, it feels good. Stomping and dancing. I love shower rituals too, right? The cleansing with the water. And speaking of which, your love, I'm bringing this up because it's coming through, but your love is love scrub. I'm going to need to put another word. Because big on like salt, right? Like exfoliation, because salt really helps us to cleanse the body. Like, our body needs that, and the water and the salt come together, and it's, think of like the ocean, right? Like that's very cleansing. So I give myself like that time to just really cleanse and like, visualize. Visualization is huge for manifestation. And so exercising that technique of just visualizing and seeing everything kind of wash away, working with the elements in general, whether it's fire or water or earth, being out in nature, like I talked about. are vital for me. I would even say music is, it speaks to my soul. It's my medicine for my soul.
Mm, me
Yeah.
too, sister. Me
Yeah. When I'm really in the feels or like, because I'm an emotional authority in human design, so
too.
I can feel it. And so like just finding that genre of music that's really going to get me to like release like feels really good. But yeah. And
Yeah,
so
Ashley saying music too. Yeah, music. It's so anyone who's been around me or who spends time here, I hear everything in music. And Jade spent a weekend with me, so she can attest to this. You will say a phrase, and I will hum a song. Like I might not know who sings it, but I have a song to that thing that you have said. And so, yeah, music is really like I think because memory, right? Like you can hear a song and it literally can take you back. You can get the smell of, cooking in the kitchen or that thing you were doing in high school when you were listening to that song, and that emotion is very wrapped up in music, and it's very therapeutic to me. And so whenever I get stuck, I will play the music and I will dance my heart out, and I immediately feel better. So I want to talk about too the human design party, because you did a private party for me and my friends for my birthday. They surprised me with a human design party, and it was amazeballs. And I didn't even know what to expect, because I'm new to human design, right? So I went into this party and you had our charts, and it was me and three other girlfriends, and I was so tripped out to learn that like these people that I've been so closely connected with for such a short amount of time, our charts were almost
they're
so similar, right? It was so cray.
yeah.
I talk about that experience, and first of all, you did it so beautifully well. And so anyone who wants to learn more or want to know how you as a couple or you as your friends kind of gel together, and what your design is, for me, I learned that I am the right vessel of love, which is cray because my business is called Love Your Journey. And I realized that like my purpose here is to show other people how they are loved and give them love so that they receive the most love and feel important. And I was like, well, shit, that's literally my whole business purpose. And it gave me like, because I mean, on this entrepreneurial journey, or anyone in life right now, especially in COVID, I was having some serious doubts. Like, am I doing the right thing? Is this just me wanting to live a different life? Right. Like, and so I realized that, like, no, this is actually what I'm called to do. And it's even in my damn chart. Right. Like, and I had such a stillness and a calmness in that. And so I think that anyone who's really interested in learning about themselves and learning what makes them tick and why, if you've had any like questions to dig a little bit deeper, I think that human design is a great way to start. And so I just want you to talk about your amazing, gifts and
Yeah.
showed up and our party that we had.
First up, I want to shout out to Ashley. I see her in the comments. And so months ago, Ashley and I were on a Clubhouse call. She also loves human design and follows it. And we were bantering about human design. I think our profiles are the same. I don't remember. Are you 2-4, Ashley? But I don't remember. But we had something in common with human design. And that's what I love about human design. It always like links us up, right? Like it sees, this is why we attract the people in our orbit, right? Or why things make sense and come together. And if you're looking for your human design chart, I have a link in my bio that can take you to where you can find your human design chart. So if you're interested, check that out. But for me, like learning about these tools, whether it's astrology or human design, really kind of, it's like connecting the dots. Like you're the vessel of love. That's your incarnation cross and almost like your purpose, right? And you've
Mm-hmm.
on, but seeing that is almost like things start to click together. It's like, okay, I know I'm on the right track because this is what lights me, right? And so like I think that's human design in itself is a gift because it helps us understand how unique we all are. We are each unique. There is no one size fits all. And so when we understand that we don't always have to operate the same way or work the same way, or you know, our strengths are this or that, it really comes together and it feels like a puzzle, like especially with that human design party where we have all the different, you know, just, and the funny thing is, and Ashley will know this. Oh yeah, cross of consciousness. Me and Ashley have almost like a very similar like dharma purpose. So while yours,
Wow.
while yours is the right angle cross of love, the vessel of love, ours is the right angle cross of consciousness. Hey Ashley. So you know, looking at your profiles, I think like 3 out of the 4 of you had 1-3 generator, right?
Did.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. Like I always knew my friends were super powerful. Like together we just are like, it was always like bling, 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 bling. But like seeing that, like my brain just like exploded.
And the funny thing is that even with you guys being the same profile type, right? You still had like, there were definitely like differences in the chart of your centers, which centers were open, which ones were defined, the different channels that connected together that we talked about. And it feels like, I don't know, I'm getting the vision of Captain Planet, you know what I mean? Where everyone's showing
Yeah.
come together. And that's kind of like what it is, you know, when we realize we're all here to kind of serve together in a bigger way. But
It
yeah.
was so dope. Like we left that, first of all, we ended our call and I immediately got a message like, okay, are we going to start another live so that we can talk about what just happened? Hi, Soul Wanderlust. But we did, and we talked for an additional like maybe 2 hours after that. Like, and we were like, okay, we've obviously got this extra something special spice right here. What, and we were like, so what business are we gonna do? Like, what are we gonna do with that? Right. And so it was just really interesting. And we're actually gonna do in Canva where we put our charts, you know, where we can see all the channels and stuff, and we're going to lay them over the top of each other and then circle which ones, like what you had told us, like if one here is blue or red and then this one is like the black with the like dotted or dashes, we're going to see where one of us has one channel open where the other one has it, and so where we meet. So we totally took a rabbit hole, and for those that don't understand it, please find Jade. Dig into your human design. I'm serious. It is one of the, in this time, in this season in my life where I have felt the most unsure and where some serious life changes have been happening, it has been one of the things that has helped me stay grounded. And for that, I will forever be thankful for that, because I know that I'm on the right path. And I know that the way I think and the way I show up and the way that I interact is not wrong. And sometimes I need to be reminded of that. And so I think that anyone during this time can benefit from that. And so I really say dig into that if you can. It is one of the best things. Can you read these comments here? Yes, human design is showing up now everywhere in my DNA.
I love that. I love hearing that.
This our meeting. Yep. It's
oh cool. I love like, and I think it's going to become more mainstream. You know what I mean? Like my hope is that human design and all these other tools will be something that will be more mainstream, whether in companies or whatnot. So people realize that, hey, we don't have to follow this like one box of how we think we need to be successful, because we're each uniquely successful by our design.
Yep. And Hassle Free Design says, my health coach uses it too, and now I am trying to bring it into my work. That actually brings me to a really pivotal moment. Like I went into this business with Cody and Renee, and we just clicked automatically, and I had this idea, and they like ran up and they're like, let's talk about this idea. And we literally had a business and like the LLC and everything like before they left, like at the end of that meeting. And she said that Cody says, I always look up everybody's human design because then I understand how they work and how they can work with me. Mm-hmm. And so I immediately took that human design link and went and asked my team, like, I need all of your information. We need to look at charts. We need to see how everybody works. And so it helps me to understand, like, okay, this person can only work for this amount of time and they need a break, right? Like, because I'll just keep going. I'm a generator, right? So like, I'm like, oh, I needed that thing like 5 minutes ago. Like, where is it? And I'm like, I'm a projector. And so for anybody who's a projector, like, they can only give their energy for so much time. And then they need to like downshift and take a nap for a couple of hours. And then they can come back, right? And so I think that it's great. You know, thank you for that comment, Hassle Free Designs, to say that, because it's true. I think that everybody who has a business, especially entrepreneurs, should be able to find out how that person that works with you or that you are employee, how that shows up for them, so that you can communicate at the highest level so that you can be productive and more successful in just community. And I think that flow, it just makes everything work a lot easier, right? So I think that's super dope.
It was life-changing for me when I found out, because I realized that I was morphing myself into something that I wasn't. I was burning myself out. My health was deteriorating, and that was because I was trying to fit myself in, say, generator energy and keep going, right? But I couldn't. I was myself out. And so this to me felt like, you know, it felt like, wow, like I understand myself more now. And no one was telling me this. I kind of stumbled upon it, and it's just, these tools are there for us. That's what they are. They serve as tools to help us understand ourselves better.
Yeah, I think, well, some people think, you know, like the only way to do it or to be successful is to work this 9 to 5, or like you have to get up at 5 in the morning and grind and hustle, which if that's your thing, great. But like there are many different ways to go about it. And I think we've just been so taught in society that it's so linear, right? And it's not. Like, it's what works best for you. And I have learned, if I don't, that's the thing that I think, not only learning, but learning what not to do. Like, I have learned that my gut instinct is like, I have to lead with that. And every single time that I don't, I hate it. like I know, like I'm like, I really don't want to say yes to that party, but you know, they're really good friends and whatever. And then I come to, after saying yes, and then I come to that day and I'm like, oh fuck, I really don't want to go. And it's not because I don't like the person, it's that my energy just does not want to do it. And then I go, or something happens and it's like, oh, this was a shit show, right? Like, it's like being able to say, like, when you have those things, you know, from your human design exactly where you're supposed to be and exactly where you're not. And if you override that feeling or that intuition that you're getting, it'll be a shit show experience. So thank yourself and don't do it, and listen to what your body is naturally telling you. Like, you are designed that way for a reason, and it's important to listen to all of those little, I call them my antennas, like, right? I'm like, my gut says nope, and I feel okay now being able to say no. And it's, my yeses are slow, right? Like, and my no's are fast. That's what and that's okay.
I love hearing this, because this is at the generator too. It's like the or the right? Which is the same.
Yep.
Does this feel really enjoyable? Am I going to love doing this, or no? Do I feel like I have to? You know what I mean?
Because the have to sucks. Not gonna lie, it sucks. And we all have it as adults where we feel like we have to do something. And when I feel like I have to do something, I don't show up with my most enjoyable, highest vibrational self. Like, I show up with my have to energy, which is not something anybody wants to spend time on. So I just decide, for you and for me, I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah. Part of self-care, right, is like, when we want to show up, we want to show up in our fullest. And this is for everyone, including ourselves first and foremost, but for everyone we come into contact, right? We want to show up as our best self, and it's all about that energy frequency. So thank you for saying that. Hi, Nonani Hanini. But what was our next?
I want to know how people connect with you, because you're so fierce and you're so talented, and your intuition. I'm going to share too, just something. You just happened to get your phone and read my chart, and you told me something, and you're like, I don't know. And I looked at you and you were like beaming. I wish I would have, I know I took a picture, but I should have drawn it in that time. Like I could literally see like auras of color like coming off of you. I know it sounds totally trippy, but go
No.
with it. And you were telling me things that like in my heart, like no one would have known those things that I was personally struggling with. And you were just telling me them. And I was like, I was literally, I was like, and it was, she dropped so much fire, y'all. At one point I was like, you got to stop talking to me. Like, I cannot. Like, I was like, I need a break. And also I need a drink. Like, I just could not, my brain was like, but I want people to have that opportunity should they choose to dive a little deeper and go down the rabbit hole and get a little tap of that fire. Where can they connect with you?
Yeah. So right now my Instagram is the best place to connect with me directly. You'll find a bunch of links in my bio, but you're not going to find my website right now because it's, as we speak, it's under maintenance and it's being worked on. So keep checking back on my profile and I'll have all the things on my website, like ways to get in touch, book a session, all of that, and all the different offerings. But thank you for that because, you know, part of my human design too is like I'm part hermit. I'm part two line. And so people that don't understand, like a lot of the times I don't even see, you know, I'm just, it's, we all have our gifts, right? And I think when we're supporting each other and coming together in community and being able to like support and lift each other up, because I found you at a time when I really needed you too. I was in a
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? I was in this big period of transition. I was kind of like, what is my purpose? What am I? I was hitting a roadblock. And just being able to have that dynamic, that just organic conversation where we just dived into your chart. I mean, you were able to see me beaming, but I didn't realize this is what you love doing. Do you know what I'm saying? So thank you for that because you really helped open that line of sight for me that I didn't have before. So thank you. And I know Cody and Renee too have been huge supporters. So I love how this just comes in and how we connect and yeah, and help each other.
Yeah, I can hear your voice telling me things like, and it has been in this last 2 weeks. Like she said something, I'm just going to share this private thing with y'all, that she said to me, keep going. Like the work that you're doing right now, I know you want to stop. And I had told anyone, like I was ready to call it quits. And she's like, keep doing the work right now because that's going to pay off. And she dropped the years. And I had been thinking that year in my brain. And she literally spit the year out. And so I know that the work that I'm doing right now will give me that thing. But sometimes when you're in the thick of it and you're in the muck, and like when you are going through seasonal hard things or just personal things, like it is hard to show up. And so you gave me that just intuition that you had. You gave that to me that literally helped me be like, all right, like I can do it. And but also in my own way, in
Yeah.
my time, and also to break up with the way that I might have done it before, still showing up, but caring for myself in a very huge way. So thank you so much. Once Upon a Dot saying Kimmy has been an amazing help for me. Thank you. That means so much to me. You have no idea. Miss Jade, I want to know, what is a message or words of wisdom you would leave our community with that is trying to recharge themselves during this hard season of a pandemic to help them? Or just words of wisdom, because girl, we will take whatever you are feeling right now. Give it to
I have to say, like, this time that we're in, it is for recharging, right? It is to help us get back in alignment. And a lot of people could be feeling lost right now because I'm seeing like this bridge, right? Like of our old life versus stepping into the new. And we're doing things differently now. Now this is the time where we get to really show up fully for ourselves. This is the time where we can pretty much hang up what do you call it? The old life, the old ways of being, the old habits. We can let that go and really step in fully to our purpose. Like it feels like a transition period of not what do you have to do, what do you want to do with your life?
Oh,
What,
so
yeah,
much truth in that. That is so good. It's true. Like, and that is literally every conversation I am having. People have been stuck in this time for so long. They're like, okay, I can't do that anymore. So what do I really want to do? Because I can't keep doing this shit anymore, right?
Yeah, 100%. And it's all about the self-care. It is, this time has slowed us down a little bit more than we're used to. And, whether it is putting on that music and being able to enjoy, I think enjoying life more is something that a lot of us tend to forget because, again, we're always on autopilot and always like have that foresight of what do I have to do? What needs to get done? Da, 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 da. But this is a moment of pause. This is a moment to check in again with our body, right? And to figure out what would bring me the most joy that I can make my living out of. And so my words of wisdom would be take care of yourself, take care of your mind, your body, and your heart, right? And make sure that it's all balanced and in alignment. Do the things that feel right for you. And we talked about some ways to do that, self-care practices, routines, things like human design. But all of these tools are available for us. And so show up authentically, show up as you, right? Mm-hmm. And art. I know that sounds cliche, but it's the way that we get to enjoy our life. And there's so much more ahead. And now is the moment of pause where we can really step in fully to our purpose.
So much pause. If anyone has any questions, we'll be on here just for one more minute here. If you have any questions for the lovely Jade, please type them in the comments so that we can see them. Once upon a dot, I see your comment. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. Jade, I completely agree about that pause, right? I know that the pandemic has come with a lot of stress, a lot of change, a lot of hardship. But for me, I feel very blessed to have had this experience over the last 2 years and still in it, right? It has caused me to do a deep dive in patterns, in trauma, in doing work. I'm in the Right to Heal course with Cody and Renee, and it's forcing me to do some intentional work, right? Really intentional work while pausing and caring for myself and caring for community and my business in a way that I know, as I say, future Kim will thank for the work that I have paused and done right now. And so I think that is great advice. And I appreciate your time here. I don't see any questions coming through. So
I think one question that was offline, I don't know if they're on, but I know Silvio had a question. And in case Silvio happens to watch this later or anyone has a similar question, maybe we can answer that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. The question was, what are some self-care practices to thrive in a work environment when you're always on the go? So yeah, constantly changing environment where, you need to kind of tap into your self-care routine a little bit, and it might not be, it's always changing. So
one more time that question.
Okay. What are some self-care practices to thrive in a work environment where you're always on the go?
So if you're always on the go, when I hear go, I hear like maybe you're in the car or something. I go back to the music, right? Also, if you can't listen to music, trick your senses. I do that with my box, right? I try to make sure there's something soft there. The body polish, we're changing the name. It's now body polish instead of sugar scrub. But because that's literally what it's doing, is polishing your body from the dead skin to the new, right? So I feel like that texture, if you are going from one thing to another, even if you can put like a scent that makes you happy, or you have a chocolate chip cookie that you put in a bag and you open it, right? I think that scents, or a soft thing like, like a fuzzy sweater, or music. I think that those are things, just tapping into those 5 senses of smell, touch, sense, all of that, taste, will help you, but it's got to be something that helps you feel happy or get those endorphins rush to get you through. If you're feeling that depletion of energy, that would be, you're going back and forth. But if you're in the car turn on the music and have
Yeah.
yourself a little jam, or an audio book that makes you feel good and makes you feel like you're raising your vibration, right? Those are my suggestions. Jade, what are yours?
Amazing suggestions. Like, I love that, the senses and being present with that happy sense, right? Whatever it is that's fueling you and filling you up. I think breath work too is another quick way.
Yeah.
Um, from my experience, like when I don't have time to do the things that I want to do, sometimes it's just a matter of like really just the deep breaths and centering myself is like to me the quickest way to kind of get centered, you know? But I love the five senses thing.
Yeah, I love the breath work. I recently had watched someone work through breath work, and it was the most moving thing I think I've ever seen.
Mm.
Just watching someone pause and work through their breath was
Mm.
super, super amazing. So, um, and it just takes me back to that circle, right? Like watching everyone, like they were literally, I think it's on Thrive and Shine's page, but like watching everyone in the circle with the lights dim, working through that breath, right?
Mm.
Like, oh, and then the music, the music was playing, and the song that was playing was I Release All Things That No Longer Serve Me. If you haven't heard it, go to YouTube, find it, do yourself a favor. So that would be for our question, find that song that will help ground you 100%.
Good. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much for your time, Miss Jade. Again, you can find her on These Shades of Jade on Instagram. Check out her bio when her website is ready. Please let us know so that
I
we can
feel,
her
you know,
and share that. I would love to be able to showcase your new website. We love a new website here. We are all for launches. So I look forward to that. So let me know, please, and we will share that with our community. Also, if you are a Love Your Journey Pamper Box person, we have launched the box early for winter as your demand. The fall box sold out, and so we launched it early. Find your emails. If you're not an email subscriber, go to the link in our bio. There is currently a special offer. If you find our survey, you get $20 off. So we look,
ooh,
yeah, we look forward to talking with our next self-care person real soon. And I think this 30th, yes, that sounds right. Please don't get me, team, if it's wrong. And Jade, thank you for your amazing time, your lovely spirit, your intuition. And if you're looking for a human design girl, Jade is your queen.
thank you, Kimmy, and thank you for hosting this series because it's so well needed right now. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for sharing your heart.
Oh, thank you for sharing your time. I really appreciate it. Love to all of you. Have the most amazing day. And remember to think of you, take your time, and as Jade says, take a pause.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye.